There's nobody better at that than Mayweather. He would knock you out backing up, not going forward, backing up. The only thing that stopped him from really just like destroying his opponents was his hands. His hands became brittle as he got older. He just overpowered his hands. But really, in terms of being a boxer, just the IQ. What he's talking about is a boxing IQ.
Absolutely.
So when you're in a fight and you don't know your opponent, but on film, or you just don't know them at all, you take the first couple of rounds to really get to know your opponent, and then you figure out a way to win. I think we're naming fighters like SOG Ward, Terrence Crawford, and Mayweather are the best to me to ever do it.
Some of the other top fighters on my pound for pound list, I think you won't disagree with. We already talked about Devin Haney earlier. Mm-hmm. Devin Haney's proven that he is one of the elite of the elite, and it also shows, like Bud, he's a master class boxer.
Absolutely. The only problem I have with putting him at so high up on the list is that we only have seen him beat. It's all about opponent. It's not all about, but amongst the reasons why you're a pound for pound best is who you've faced.
Right.
So he has no problem facing anybody. People have a problem facing him, and I can only name maybe 2 or 3 fighters of note that Devin Haney actually has dominated and beaten.
Yeah. Shakur Stevenson has a similar situation at Haney.
Yes.
Because both of them are so young. Both of them under 25. So it's like you can see the skill.
Yeah.
They've won championships. So you're like, oh, yeah, it's just a matter of them finding those matches that push them to even get their greatness shown at a higher level. I got to put Alexander Usyk in my pound for pound. Okay. Considering that he cleaned out cruiserweight.
I'll give you that.
And then with the heavyweight,
what he did to Anthony Joshua, amazing fight. No doubt. I'll put him above because of who he's faced, and he's dominated 2 different weight classes. He has to be above Haney and Shakur.
I agree with you there,
at least temporarily.
I got to give Spence his props. Spence deserves to be there.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's a
top
crazy fighter with crazy skills and knockout power.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Inoue earlier.
Who's he fought? I'll give you a minute.
He fought.
That's exactly what happens to me when I think about him. He was 40 years old.
That's true.
The person you're thinking about was
true.
40 years old.
I understand. It's not his fault. There's nobody there.
That's not true.
He cleaned out that division. Matter of fact, he just fought 2 weeks ago in Japan at home to get all 4 belts, and he's getting removed up to 126. So we're going to see. We're going to see.
On my list.
We're going to see.
Because he's undisputed, you can put him on way down. I'll put him under the other, definitely under Haney, definitely under Shakur.
I'll give you that.
So if you want to put him in the top 10, they have him at number 1.
Yeah, that's a little outrageous. Yeah, that's
outrageous.
That's a little outrageous.
Regular media has him as number 1. It's completely outrageous.
I mean, he has a unique skill set for his size. He's got knockout power, but he's got boxing ability, and his footwork, and skills are similar to the highest master boxers as well. But he's got power at that small weight where he's knocking guys out.
He's avoided fighters too. I'm telling you.
We will see. He says he wants to fight Stevie Schoolboy Fulton at 126 for his titles.
Fulton.
Fulton's
on my list.
We will see that.
Put Fulton on the top pound for pound.
I got to put Bivol there because Bivol, what way he made Canelo look, but
to me, Canelo's not that great.
Okay. There you go. I hear you. One thing Bivol does have to do, though, to prove to me that he is.
Let him come down and fight 168 and Devin Benavidez.
No, he needs to fight Better BF at 175 and try to unify those belts. They fought against each other in the amateurs because both of them are Russian fighters. Mm-hmm. They need to go ahead and make that fight happen and then he can do whatever he wants to.
Well, if he loses that fight, ain't nobody going to see him.
That's true. That's why it hadn't happened, because they scared. But you mentioned, in my honorable mention, David Benavidez. The only reason why he's not on the pound for pound, because he doesn't have them belts.
Don't have the belts, lost it on the scale. So bad look for him. It was a COVID fight, couldn't maintain his weight, and lost his belt on the scale, and set in course a series of events that have really hurt him.
Yes.
And that's a shame. But David Benavidez is a scary fighter because he's so strong for his weight. I don't think he's that great of a boxer. But it's really hard it's like fighting a heavyweight. That's like a 135 guy fighting a heavyweight. That's the kind, because he takes a lot of hits and just walks right through them. And that's amazing at his weight class. So I'd like to see him fight some of the better fighters. Charlo, I don't know, but he's a 168 guy, so you really have to want to fight him to fight him.
Right. Mentioned Charlo. I think both of the Charlo brothers have done a lot of good work, but it's now time for them to try to. Now they say people don't want to fight them. They with PBC, so as I explained earlier with our boy Spence, I think PBC does some protection of these guys.
You think so?
I think so.
I think it's the fighters. It's them.
I think it's both. I think it can be both.
I think PBC will defend them if that's depending on what they want. But if they wanted to fight, PBC will make the fight. That's why they're so great, because they make fights where people say they can't be made.
Yeah, and you got Jamal, the 10-minute-old brother who's at 160. He's the WBC champion. And then Jamel, who unified junior middleweight. Now, both of them are talking about moving up. So basically, Spence and the Charlo brothers are boys. Jamel and Spence had the same trainer. So I think everybody slides
going to move up
because they're not going to fight each other.
Well, then Spence going to stay a little longer, because I'm going to tell you, Jamel Charlo used to be the number 2 Charlo, and now that he's unified now that he's undisputed champion at 154, I think he surpassed his brother in my pound for pound.
I hear you.
Even though he has that loss, he defended that loss in a knockout fashion.
Yeah. And then some other honorable mentions. Tank Davis. Tank, you got to fight one of the real fighters.
I got him in my top 5.
Why? I think he has the skill set to be a top 5. I got to see.
He has the belts. He has the. He
doesn't have a real belt though. He got all them junior belts.
He got the 130. Didn't he have a belt at 130?
It's a junior belt. It's one of them regular belts. He got a regular belt at 135. He doesn't have a real belt.
But I can tell you who he's beat.
I hear you. And I
he's
think
still
he
undefeated.
I think he could be the man at 135 or 140, wherever he wants to fight. Stevie Fulton, we mentioned him earlier. Schoolboy is nice.
He's
nice.
in my top pound.
Nice. And my last one, Ron Francisco Estrada, a bantamweight 115 weight class most people don't look at.
Didn't he just beat Chocolatito?
Yes, again. Again. So
beautiful fight, guys. You want to see a fight? You want to see somebody, what I'm talking about, boxing? Okay. That Estrada beat Chocolatito backing up the whole fight. Yeah. Clean, effective punching. That's the way you win backing up.
So let's real quick talk about the young guns that we hope to see more of in 2023. We already talked about Jaron Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz, the 2 young guns at 147.
Yeah.
If they can't get title fights, then they need to fight each other.
Yes.
Let somebody's go.
That's it. I agree with that. And that's what I mean with some of the happy stuff at lightweight. Tank won't fight. Haney won't fight. They won't fight the best guys won't fight each other because they want to clear out the stuff that's out there, like the Lomas and
right.
Cambosises and all those, the TOs. They're trying to clear all that out and the Ryan Garcias before they fight each other. And I don't think that's right. I think we should just make the opportunity. If there's an opportunity there to fight.
I agree with you. A new young up and come at a lower weight rate, Jesse Bam Rodriguez. He fights at bantamweight. He fights at Estrada's weight. He won one of the belts in an upset. But that young fella can fight. He fights out of the Robert Garcia gym.
Oh, wow.
So you know their style of fighting, and he fits right into that. He's only 23.
I think he's training. Is he training Andy Ruiz now?
Yes. Yes. In the heavyweight, a future young American heavyweight star.
I know what you're about to talk about.
Jared Big Baby Anderson.
Ooh, this boy.
His last fight, he just fought this. He came into the ring with a Santa outfit with a Grinch mask on. But he can do it.
This boy can hit, and you know, I don't think he's necessarily ready for the top guys, but he's definitely in the running for one of the best heavyweights.
There could be a natural matchup for him in 2023. Again, if some of these young guys are willing to put their O on the line against real competition, Daniel DeBoer, who's the European, British, Commonwealth heavyweight. Yeah, he got hurt.
He got knocked down 3 times in the first round. Sometime he took a knee and came back in the second round to knock out his opponent. What a great fight. You want to see what boxing is all about? About hit and keep on coming, what Rocky was talking about? Yes, that fight. That's life.
That's internal fortitude.
Internal fortitude.
He could have quit.
I'm looking at this guy's face, and he's like, I want to give up. I swore he wanted to give up.
Yeah.
But his opponent didn't keep the pressure on him. The guy got his legs back under him, and it started, you know, hitting, putting his hand gloves on him, and came back and knocked out the other guy. I mean, what a great fight! I told you what happened. A spoiler alert. I don't care. You're gonna still love the fight if you watch it.
Absolutely. Xander Zayas, who's supposed to be the next Puerto Rican sensation. You know, his last fight, he looked a little. He had a little tough time. He won the fight, but it wasn't as convincing. But he's still a young gun out there.
Good fight, a good fighter. I think you know, these guys are young, like you said, and they'll start to. I think, you know, they want to show improve, and they lose a little bit of. They get a little too overzealous. You know, we'll see.
What do you think about they call him the Stifle Tower, Sebastian Fedor?
I love this guy.
6'2", 154-pound, crazy power for a stick. Because he looks crazy when
he does look crazy. He's half my weight and taller than me. He looks like, you know, if he turns sideways, he disappears. Listen, this guy, you know, I know that boxing is really 80% mental. But even Ali will acknowledge the fact that physical differences matter. This guy is 154 pounds, 6'2". I mean, he has the physical advantages and power at that height to weight that is really, really exciting to watch. He does get hit, but he seems to walk right through it, and he just has that intestinal fortitude to keep on coming and it's either him or you. That's the kind of fighter he is. He reminds me of Paul the Punisher Williams.
Wow.
A lot. And I mean, that's one of my favorite fighters of all time. Who tragically got into a motorcycle accident. Just same body style, but more than just how they look, but just has just that type of fighter. A volume puncher, lots of punches, and just walks right through whatever you hit him with. Yeah, great fighter. We really wish he'd go back. And his last fight, I mean, that was a tough fight for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tough fight. Absolutely. Came back and won it. Yeah.
And two, really, really, I can't call them contenders yet because they're still young in the game, but I think they're going to be contenders, but definitely prospects. Brandon Lee at junior welterweight and Keyshawn Davis at lightweight.
The businessman, Keyshawn Davis. I'm going to tell you, this guy is a monster. I mean, just I could just see his just mental focus. I mean, I don't want to be against him. Just looking at it, just looking at him, he just and skills. Oh, forget about it. I don't know a lot about Brandon Lee. You got to tell me about him.
Brandon Lee is undefeated at 140.
Mm-hmm.
He's got good power, but he's not a knockout guy. Good boxing skills, but not elite boxing skill. But he's got that great mixture. But he's a guy. He's one of those guys. Every fight that he's in is going to be a good fight.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if he's got championship
he's
quality
ready for like some of the elite fighters. Who am I thinking about at 140? Grace.
Yeah, he's not ready for that.
That's what I'm saying. That all right. So we'll keep an eye on Brandon Lee.
Yeah. I think a couple of fights in 2023, and maybe
who's the other champ at 140? Start with an L. What's his name?
Oh, you got they getting ready to fight that fight soon.
So there's a lot of great champions at 140. A lot of gatekeepers that I don't even think Tank Davis is ready for. So we'll see what happens at 140. And Teofimo Lopez just won a controversial fight. We'll be talking about that next.
We can.
Okay, so Teofimo Lopez fought at 140. Couldn't beat anybody at 135. Afraid to fight Haney. Came up to 140 and won his last fight very controversially. And I'm going to tell you why he won. Again, he was moving forward.
Yeah.
If you're moving forward and actually touching your opponent, you win on 2 points. You win on ring generalship, and you win on effective aggression. Yeah. And that's what. So his opponent was clean, effective punching, won that hands down. But that's only one criteria.
And he didn't throw enough punches.
And again, if you're not touching your opponent and you're not being aggressive, you're going to lose on 2 of the 3 criteria, and that's why T.O. won. And people were like, "Oh, he didn't look because he got knocked down in the 5th, I believe it was."
Yeah.
Oh, it was the 2nd or 5th. I can't remember.
He actually got knocked down twice. That second one, they didn't call it.
They didn't call it.
But yeah.
But T.O. got up and to his credit, continued with his game plan and won the fight. But at the end of that fight, what did he say to the crowd? And you mentioned it earlier, Reg. Do I still got it?
Yeah.
Do I still got it? And the fact is, at this point, you've reached, certain level of fighters. Once they reach to a certain level of their career, they probably should stop.
Yeah, he's got so much going on in his personal life outside.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been going on for years and years. So he needs to get that fixed if he wants to fight at the top of the top at 140. Because, I mean, you still got
because I loved T.O. as when he was coming up. I thought he was a great fighter. So it's something going on with him. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I mean, he don't want to mess around with Prograis.
No.
And you got Josh Taylor.
Taylor, that's what I was trying to remember, at 140.
Who's doing his rematch. And Taylor said he want to go up to 147. I don't see how you're going to do that when he having a hard time at 140. So I think, and then, like we said, we got Devin getting ready to go to 140, so Devin gonna clean all that out.
I hope so.
But
that's the challenge with Haney too, is that he's not knocking out opponents, and people in the end want to see you knock down or knock out opponents on some level. And if he can't do that at 135, he certainly won't be able to do it at 140.
True.
But he's still a skilled fighter. He reminds me of Clarissa Shields in the sense that very, very skilled fighter, but just don't have the knockout power at his weight classes.
Good point. Is there anything else you want to hit before we get out of here?
No, man. I think we touched on so much in boxing, and only thing I want to say is that boxing is not being promoted well enough for some reason. I don't know what it is. I'm just not, I'm not hearing about the fights. I really have to dig deep. I subscribe to all the stations that boxing is on. The ESPNs, the Zone Network, the Showtime, but for some reason they're not being promoted as well as they used to be. I don't know if it's because I've gotten busy or if it's in my head or what.
No, you're right. The fracture when we got the silos of the major promoters affiliating specifically with one.
Yes,
network.
Maybe that's what did it.
Golden Boy with the Zone, Top Rank with ESPN, PBC is Showtime and Fox or CBS, and they don't want to cross over. That really hurt boxing.
It did.
And then them not willing to work unless it's a super, super, super duper mega fight.
Right.
And then somebody got to give us stuff. That's hurt boxing. And then the fact that, I know you don't like it, UFC, it's been kicking boxers, but because they are putting the matches together that people want to see, and people watching boxing saying, these guys won't fight, and by the time they fight, they're too old, and it doesn't matter. So, yeah, boxing's got a problem. And again, that's why women's boxing has such a great year, because they gave the people the fights they wanted, put on big shows, got big followings.
What happens when you give people the fights they want to see? And I hope some of these fighters see this. Once you give the fights that people want to see, that doesn't, and then you lose, that doesn't mean you're gone. It really just depends on how you lose. You have the chance. Boxing is about losing and then coming back. Look at Ali. Look at some of the greats.
The trilogy fights.
Yes. How are you going to get a trilogy unless somebody loses and you come back and win? Look at our undisputed at 154. He now has surpassed his brother in my eyes, even after his loss to Tony. So, look, you guys have to risk fighting each other, because the crowd is either going to want to see that fight again or see you face another opponent. And even if you lose badly, you'll face the next opponent and do well. Then they're going to want to see you right back in this thing. So, look, don't worry about let it go. Just to make sure that you're capitalizing on your craft, because you're missing. Look at Tio missing out on millions of dollars not fighting Haney, and so you're losing money by not fighting the best, and you're losing opportunities to really cement your place in history. So take a chance. That's my thing. That's my last one.
That's a great place to end it. The best of the best. Stop worrying about politics.
Mm-hmm.
Tell your promoters, I want this fight.
Yep.
I don't care what you got to do, whether we got co-promoted or give him a little more money, but let's make this fight happen, because I'm taking control of my legacy, and this is the person I want to fight.
The rap industry took the cues from boxing. A lot of people don't know that. See, so rap started out, what made rap great was beef, and that started the buzz. So we would battle, one rapper would battle each other, and they would talk mess for 16 bars about each other. That's what boxing is. That's what wrestling is.
Yep.
That's what professional wrestling. Okay. One of the best guys to ever do it, Ric Flair. I mean, these guys would talk mess about each other, and they get in the ring, and people would be excited to see it. That's what's missing in boxing. Go back to history and look at how it's done, and cement your place in history, legacy. I hope everybody in the comments section can talk about it. Talk about it in the comments section.
Absolutely. Fight the best, you be the best, and history will still recognize you.
That's right.
The Tommy Hearnses of the world, the Haglets of the world, and all that. They fought the best of the best. Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman. When you fight the best, even if you lose, you still come back established, and you're still going to be beloved. And at that, it is time for us to end the show. Again, Queensberry Tony, I appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you coming through. Had me chop up it about boxing, my favorite love of sport. We talk about football all the time, basketball and all that. Boxing is my first true love of sport, and I'm glad to be able to chop it up. All right, folks, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in and listening. We know this show was a little longer than normal, but we had some good stuff we had to get to you about boxing. We appreciate your time and opportunity to share Positions on Sports with you. Please tune in Tuesdays, each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. for our live regular show. And then from time to time, we'll hit you with special shows like this. You can also download this show and previous shows on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Positions on Sports Talk Show, just search that. Please both follow and like. It would be greatly helpful. And if you want to hit us up, as Queensberry said, hit us up on our comments, Facebook at Positions on Sports, Instagram at Positions on SBO1. We'd love to hear from you. As always, thank you again. Have a great rest of your week. Have a happy, successful new year. Stay warm out there, and we'll see you next time. This has been the Positional Sports Talk Show. Peace.